Have you ever shared good news with someone and somehow walked away feeling smaller afterward? Maybe you got a promotion, started dating someone new, hit a fitness goal, or launched a project you were proud of. They smiled, said the right words, but the energy felt off. The conversation shifted. You suddenly felt defensive, awkward, or weird for even being excited. That feeling confuses people because secret competition rarely looks openly hostile. Most of the time, it hides behind friendliness, jokes, curiosity, or support. And one important thing before we start, one awkward comment does not mean someone is secretly competing with you. Everybody compares themselves sometimes. Everybody gets insecure sometimes. The real signal is the pattern. It's consistency. It's how you repeatedly feel around the person over time. Healthy competition usually feels motivating. You both grow. You respect each other. Secret competition feels different. It feels like someone is quietly keeping score. And usually, this behavior comes from insecurity, comparison, or fear of falling behind. Some people tie their self-worth to how they rank against others. So instead of feeling inspired by your progress, they feel threatened by it. Understanding that explains the behavior, but it doesn't mean you have to tolerate it. So here are 10 signs someone may be secretly competing with you. The first sign is copying you without acknowledgement. This could be your style, your hobbies, your phrases, your business ideas, even your goals. You mention wanting to start something, and suddenly they're doing the exact same thing almost immediately. Sometimes admiration is normal. People inspire each other all the time. But covert competition has a different feeling. It feels less like inspiration and more like replacement, especially when they never acknowledge where the idea came from. At work, this can look like someone repeating your idea louder in a meeting, as if it's theirs. Socially, it can feel like someone adopting your personality traits while subtly trying to outperform you with them. Second, they downplay your achievements. You tell them something exciting, and the response instantly deflates the moment. Oh, that's not that hard. Nice, but let's see if it lasts. Must be nice to have that kind of free time. Technically, they congratulated you. Emotionally, they shrank the achievement. And what makes this confusing is that the comments are usually subtle enough to deny later. But over time, you stop wanting to share good news with them because you already expect the energy shift. Third, they constantly one-up you. You say you started running again, they immediately mention their marathon. You mention a raise, they bring up a bigger opportunity. You say you're tired, somehow they're always more exhausted. The issue isn't that they also have experiences. The issue is the reflex. Their instinct is comparison instead of connection. Conversations become scoreboards instead of conversations. Fourth, backhanded compliments. These are comments that sound positive on the surface, but land like insults. You actually look really good today. You're brave for wearing that. Wow, I didn't expect you to pull that off. And if you react, they often make you seem oversensitive. I was joking. Relax. You take everything personally. That plausible deniability is part of why covert competition feels psychologically slippery. The words technically sound harmless, but the emotional impact says otherwise. Fifth, they gather information strategically. Curiosity is normal, but some people ask questions in a way that feels less personal and more investigative. How much are you making now? Who are you talking to? What are your next plans? When are you launching it? Who helped you? What connections do you have? In workplaces especially, secretively competitive people often monitor positioning. They want to know where they stand relative to you. Sometimes they even use the information to move ahead first, copy strategies, or manage how they appear socially. Sixth, their support feels performative. This one is subtle but powerful. They say congratulations, but the warmth is missing. The response is delayed, flat, or quickly redirected. You announce something important, and they immediately change the topic back to themselves. Or they support you publicly, but act cold privately. It feels socially correct rather than emotionally genuine. Most people can intuitively feel the difference between someone celebrating you and someone performing support because they know they're supposed to. Seventh, they gossip or subtly discredit you, rarely in dramatic ways, usually indirectly. They frame your success as luck instead of effort. They just know the right people. They had help. They got lucky with timing. Or they disguise criticism as concern. I'm just worried about them. I hope they're okay. But somehow the result is always damage to your credibility or reputation. Instead of confronting you directly, they lower your social standing indirectly. Eighth, repeated exclusion. One forgotten invitation means nothing. Everybody gets left out occasionally, but patterns matter. Maybe everyone else knew about the event except you. Maybe meetings happen without you. Maybe group chats mysteriously skip you. Maybe collaborations happen around you instead of with you. Exclusion changes social power. It reduces access, visibility, and connection. And covert rivalry often works through subtle distancing rather than open conflict. Ninth, ordinary conversations turn into power struggles. They constantly correct small details, interrupt you, challenge neutral opinions, turn casual discussions into debates. Not every disagreement means competition. Healthy people disagree all the time. But secretly competitive people often need to establish dominance, even in low-stakes situations. You tell a story, they interrupt with a more impressive version. You explain something, they immediately fact-check tiny details. In groups, they try to reclaim attention whenever focus shifts toward you. And 10th, they seem energized by your failures. This is probably the clearest sign. When something goes wrong for you, they suddenly become more animated, more engaged, more interested. There's relief in their reaction. Not always openly cruel. Sometimes it's subtle smugness. Sometimes it's excessive advice that feels more like a victory lap. Sometimes they retell your mistake to other people under the disguise of concern or wisdom. Your setbacks reduce the internal pressure they feel comparing themselves to you. Now, here's the important distinction. Healthy competition feels inspiring. You can both win. There's respect, there's honesty, there's room for mutual growth. Secret competition feels emotionally tense. There's scorekeeping, undermining, deflation, mixed signals. And one of the best questions you can ask yourself is simple. How do you consistently feel after spending time with this person? Expanded or contracted? Encouraged or managed? Safe or cautious? Because this dynamic changes people over time. It can make you overthink what you share, hide your wins, shrink your personality, second-guess yourself. You become careful around someone who's supposed to be supportive. So what do you do about it? First, stop feeding unnecessary information into the dynamic. You do not need to share every plan, opportunity, income update, or goal with everyone. Second, refuse to participate in the scoreboard. If they one-up you, stay neutral. You don't need to compete back. Third, use calm boundaries. If someone makes a disguised jab, ask, "What do you mean by that?" If something feels disrespectful, say, "I don't find that funny." Fourth, in professional environments, protect your work. Document contributions. Be mindful about sharing unfinished ideas. And finally, invest more energy into people who genuinely celebrate you. Supportive relationships don't leave you emotionally drained for succeeding. The clearest sign of secret competition usually isn't one isolated moment. It's the repeated feeling that your joy, success, or confidence has to be carefully managed around someone else.